Jack, I have had enough of you fooling around out here. Stop trying to act like it's a good thing to be single at your age and find a woman you can actually stay married to. And once you find that woman, you make her bring me a grandbaby. If you could just try a little harder to find someone, you could become a very good husband and father, right? All you are right now is a complete embarrassment to me.
I think asking Jasmine to bring you that grandbaby would be a lot more effective, Mom. And those two already took fertility tests and the results came back saying that they are both good to go.
I understand that, but that has nothing to do with you. What I'm trying to tell you right now is that it's embarrassing to have my oldest son grow up single and with no kids.
But Mom, I already told you I don't plan on getting married anymore.
Huh? You're going on about that again? Then what's going to happen to me getting my grandbaby?
And that's why I said, you won't be getting a grandbaby from me, okay? I've been to the doctor about it already and they said it's better for me to just look past wanting kids based on the very low chance I have of getting someone pregnant. They even tried bringing up adoption as an option, but you budged in, saying that it was the wife's fault for not bringing in any kids. And you still wonder why she left me after all that crap you gave her. For something that's not anyone's fault but my own. Why is it so hard for you to accept the truth, Mom? You literally do anything but accept the truth, and that includes hurting those who aren't even at fault. If I had to give you a reason why I'm not married now and never will be again, I'd say it has to do with you always getting in the way.
You're going on about that again as well?
If you don't want to hear about it again, then stop making me bring it up. The fact that you always come to me about not having any kids and not having anyone to love is why I always go back and bring up the reasons why. It's driving me nuts.
Well, listen, Jack. You don't have to cover for that ex of yours being infertile anymore, because you've already divorced her and she means nothing to us anymore, right?
Jesus Christ, Mom. I'm not lying about it to protect her. I'm being serious when I say that I'm the one that's infertile. I even showed you the test results from the clinic, right?
Well, anyway, I'm not going to allow you to stay single. The only way you're going to continue staying a man in my family is by getting yourself another wife and making some kids with her. That's what all men need to do, and you're no exception.
Please stop with all this, Mom. At this point, you continue to go in circles about this. It's just wasting everyone's time.
Jack!
I have an early morning tomorrow, so good night.
I've had enough sitting here waiting. You must be planning to surprise me with something, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that penthouse you have. You must have bought that recently, right?
Huh?
When I went into your apartment earlier, I saw the papers on that place lying on your computer.
You've gone and created yet another duplicate key to my place without my permission? Are you still not able to get it into your head that it's because of crap like you that you've caused my last relationship to flounder and forced me to divorce my wife? I can't believe you right now, Mom.
Well, you're my son, and I think I have the right to have access to your apartment. So when are you going to be able to introduce me to that new wife of yours?
Seriously?
The penthouse I saw in those papers lying in your apartment showed that it has 3 bedrooms and a very spacious kitchen, so there must be a good reason for you buying it, right? What kind of woman is the girl you're with right now? Is she the kind of woman that can actually get pregnant and birth some children?
It was after you bought that penthouse that you made my relationship with my ex-wife impossible and I had to divorce her.
Huh?
It's been over a year now since I bought that penthouse. After the divorce, I've been dealing with a lot of personal things, and I still have work and that to deal with as well, so I haven't had time to move into the place or anything yet.
Huh? What the? Can you stop trying to upset me right now? But if that's really the case with you, that penthouse doesn't belong to someone who's single and has no plan to have a family, right?
Huh?
Well, listen, your sister has gotten pregnant.
Oh, is that so? Tomorrow I'll send her a text telling her congrats.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I want you to give that penthouse to your sister and her husband.
What?
Right now, your sister is living in a small apartment with her husband that only has 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom in it. Right now, the place is decent for those two, but the moment they have their first baby, they're going to need more space to work with. You can understand that, right?
Well, yeah, I understand that.
Then please give that place to your sister.
Stop being ridiculous, Mom. I'm planning to move into that place real soon, and starting this week I plan to get my things packed up and ready to go.
Having a place as big as that all to yourself is far too greedy.
Why is that greedy? Also, this place wasn't even gonna be mine in the first place after the divorce, but I was able to get it after much talk with my ex about how much I planned on using it. You have no right telling me to give it away after you almost made me lose it once already.
You are far too old now to be saying such selfish garbage.
How am I being selfish right now?
Are we finished here, Jack? I'm tired of having to fight you all the time on stuff like this. That place is too big for you and would be perfect for your sister, her husband, and her soon-to-be-born baby. And me. Having a place that open for the four of us to live in would be perfect.
Hold on a minute. It seems to me like the conditions have changed, and you just made it look as though you plan to live with them in the penthouse.
And what's wrong with me wanting that?
Have you ever even spoken with either of them yet about your plan?
There's no reason for me to talk with them about it now.
Well, if they need a house that's bigger than the apartment they're in, then the normal thing to do would be to move into a bigger place, or have a new place built for their needs, right? And I believe that both of us have heard already from her husband that he plans on having a place of his own built for the family, instead of moving into an already built home, right? Even if I did want to give them my penthouse, they probably don't need it.
I've had enough of this talk. Just give them the dang penthouse. If you continue to keep saying no to what your own mother is asking you, then I'll have to disown you.
Really?
But if you give them that place, then we can all go on with our lives again as normal. You don't want me cutting ties to you, right?
Actually, I don't care if you do or don't.
Right? You know just as well as I do that we don't want that.
Huh? Wait, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. You can stop trying to talk your way out of all this now. I am looking forward to moving into that place and having so much room to work with while raising my grandbaby.
That's not what I meant.
Well, since that's what's going to happen soon, I need to start preparing my things as well to move into that place.
Go and do what you'd like, Mom. But don't come back to me when things aren't what they seemed.
Jack! Why are you living in this penthouse right now? You were supposed to have given your sister this place so that her family and I could live here without you.
How do you know about me moving out of my old apartment?
I went to your previous apartment to come see it, and the man living next door to your place told me that you moved out. And when he said that to me, I went right to the building that the penthouse is located in, and I can see that you're in there right now. But when I ran after you as you opened the door, you slammed it in my face before I could come inside.
Well, luckily there's a really fast auto lock on the door that kicked in right before you turned the handle. And if you don't have the key to that lock, you can't get in.
Well, then hand that key over to me right now, Jack. I went to your apartment today looking for that key after all, so now that I've had to run all the way here after you moved in without letting me know, I'm getting that key.
So you went into that apartment again without my permission, huh? Thank God I moved out of there before you started to have one of these fits again.
You don't have any plans to get married again, right?
That's right. All I'm thinking about now is living as a bachelor for the rest of my life.
Then hurry up and get the hell out of there. That penthouse is far too good for some half-cooked man like you who doesn't plan to have a wife or kids.
Well, I'm planning on making this place into my office and this studio as well.
Huh? Making it into an office?
For a long time now, I've been doing this sort of work as a sort of side hustle, and now I'm thinking of focusing on it full time. And as of right now, I've been working with a friend of mine on merging our businesses and making a larger company.
And so what? That sort of stuff has nothing to do with that penthouse.
Well, that friend that I'm working with had plans to get married next year, and then move into a place close to his penthouse. But right now his partner is overseas for work, and he's all alone over here. So the plan is to have him stay in this penthouse with me for the next year until his woman returns and they get married.
What the heck? Why did you make all of those plans without me?
Because this is my penthouse, and since it's mine, I can do what I want with it.
But I told you that if you don't want to be disowned, you have to give that place over to your sister so that her family can move into there. You can look back in our texts and see exactly what I told you. I said for you to give the penthouse to her, and that you don't want me cutting ties with you, right? And you replied by saying you don't care if I do or don't.
Yeah, and that meant that I don't care what you do about your relationship with me. In other words, go ahead and disown me.
Huh?
You can go back into our messages and see what I told you. You're mistaking what I said, and that it wasn't what you thought it meant, right?
What? You're kidding, right?
I wanted to make things more clear for you, but you wouldn't stop talking, and told me to stop talking about it anytime I try to speak, so I gave up on it. And honestly, I'm totally okay with you cutting your ties to me, and that's why I stopped caring about you having a misunderstanding about what I said.
What the heck? Then what should I do now?
Go back to your own house and stay quiet from now on?
But I already moved ahead and sold my place.
Is that right?
What the hell is up with you acting like that's got nothing to do with you?
Well, you're cutting ties to me now, right?
No, I don't think so.
Are we done here? I have some things that I need to get back to, and I can see that you have nothing left to say to me that I care to hear. Bye.
Wait a second. What the heck am I going to do? Jack? Hey.
What do you want? What could you possibly want with me now?
Hey, do you know where your sister ran off to?
Huh? Why are you asking me where she's gone? All I know about her is that her husband and her moved back closer to his hometown because there would he be closer to his job.
Huh? They moved even further away. That town is almost 4 hours away from here.
Before those two even got married, they were talking about how before they even had a kid, they'd move back into his hometown where he'd be closer to his job and be in a better place to raise the kids. The only reason why he was working around here for a little while in the first place is because the company he works for is owned by his dad, and he was asked to start helping with the starting of a new office in town. But they agreed that once his wife became pregnant, he could go back to his old office closer to his hometown and have his kid there.
What?
And it's getting pretty close to the due date for that baby, so they decided to move back to his hometown before she had the baby and is all tired out.
Well, why did I never hear anything about this from them?
It's because you're a reckless woman, so we all decided to keep their move a secret from you so you couldn't do anything crazy to them.
Huh? I'm reckless?
You made a huge deal about having me give up on my penthouse and handing it over to my sister so that her and her husband could have their baby there and you could live there with them as well. They also knew about how I bought this place before my divorce and that you were the reason my wife ended up leaving me. And if all that wasn't enough, you were causing a crap ton of stress for her by always trying to control everything she planned to do with the baby, as though it was gonna be your baby somehow. Well, anyway, there's a whole bunch of reasons that began to pile up, and that's why they both chose to move out of town without telling you.
What the heck? Does she not want me around to help her in raising her baby when it's born? Did she forget who raised her to become the perfect woman she is now?
And as far as we're concerned, it was Dad that raised the both of us into the people we are now.
Huh?
Dad was the one making the money in the house for all of us to live on, and he was also the one that did the most cooking and cleaning in the house. You were a housewife, but you ended up slacking off quite a lot.
Wait a second.
Also, it's been 2 years now since you left the house to live on your own away from Dad because you didn't want him to listen to you asking all the time to do the chores, right? Well, he's told me that he plans to divorce you now since you're never going back to him.
But if he leaves me, how am I going to make any money?
No, I'm not, because you told me you'd disown me and cut ties with me.
But you are my son, so you should be able to do something about this, please.
I think we're pretty much done here, right? I'm a very busy man now, and I got things I gotta get back to. Can you make sure to never talk to me again?
Jack!
Now I'm gonna get back to work. Goodbye forever. After her and I had our final conversation, my mom came running back to my penthouse door and continued to hang around it for hours and hours. But after a while of hearing her constant knocking around my penthouse door and the building itself, others in the building began to become suspicious of her and called the police on her. They came just at the time I wasn't around, so she couldn't get me to come and help her, meaning the police put her in their car and drove her to the nearest station. After she was let out of the police station the following day, she proceeded to start heading back to the building my penthouse was in, only to be stopped by my dad, who told her that he heard about everything and would be sending her to my older brother's business outside the state. There she would work for him and make some money to support herself, while also being too far away to do anything about me and the rest of my family. Her brother operates a logging business, so the location she'll be working at is far in the mountains and forests, where it takes almost a day to get to by buggy or truck. So because of her being so remote, I can feel a sense of relief knowing she'll never make it back here again. And of course, this meant that Dad was able to divorce her as well. I hope that now she's lost pretty much everything in her immediate family, and she'll begin to make a new family out there in the middle of nowhere cutting wood all day with all those other loggers. And I'm sure that unlike us, those loggers won't even let her get away with a second of that reckless attitude she had with us.
Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for coming today. Ken told me all about you previously, but once I met you in person, I was shocked that you were such a delightful woman. I had no idea. To think that such a wonderful woman is going to marry my son, it's like a dream come true. I'm very happy for you two. You two make such a splendid couple. I'm absolutely sure my late husband is smiling down on the two of you from heaven. I wish you and Ken the happiest life going forward. And please don't hesitate to stop in for a visit again anytime you like. Thank you very much, but can I say just one thing? I would prefer that this be the last time we meet. Excuse me? I have no intention of visiting your home during Christmas or Thanksgiving. I'll have Ken go over there when it's absolutely necessary. Let's not associate with each other, if that's okay with you. I would much rather prefer that. I'm sorry, but are you serious? Can I ask why? I'm sorry, did I do something that may have offended you in any way? No, nothing like that. I married Ken, is all. It's not if I married the whole family. I just don't want all the baggage. We have no blood relations, which makes us total strangers. All I ask is that we keep it separate. I don't need the hassle of all this family relationships and so forth. It gets a bit stressful, don't you think? So let's keep all future interactions to a minimum. I'm going to shut off my line unless it's absolutely necessary. So, if you need something, please go through Ken, would you, please? But just because Ken is your oldest son, please don't rely on him too much. I will invite you to the wedding, but I must warn you right now, don't make yourself heard too much. This is our wedding, after all. You do understand, right? Yes, of course. That's what she told me. I was pretty shocked, as you can imagine. Did I do something to offend her, maybe? Was Susan angry at me for something?
Oh yeah, right, about that. I forgot all about that. No, she's not angry or anything. She's just being a little overly cautious, that's all.
Overly cautious? Really? You mean she's self-conscious or something?
No, nothing like that. It's just that her dad's grandma and her mom didn't really get along very well. Apparently she witnessed a feud between those two all while growing up. As far as I know, she and her mom have no contact with her grandmother anymore. So you can imagine her negative attitude toward family relationships such as with you and Susan. It's not about you, Mom. Nothing to do with her liking or disliking you.
I see. So that's what this is all about. No wonder she seems so hostile. I have no antagonistic feelings toward her in the least. I suppose it's a form of trauma, huh?
Exactly. I suppose you can say that. After she settles into married life for a while and gets used to being around you, she'll probably relax her guard and everything will be normal, I hope. It's not a problem for you, is it? You got Caroline and her husband, not to mention your grandkids just living down the street. If there's a problem, just call Caroline, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Caroline and the kids keep me pretty busy. I don't have a problem with that, but it just seems kind of unsociable. After all, we are family. She seems like a nice person. I just thought we could have closer ties.
Yeah, well, she's that way, so what can I say? She'll come around eventually. Our families are not exactly alike. She had a tough time growing up. On the other hand, we had a pretty normal life, I suppose. Just as long as you can sit there at the wedding and not make any unnecessary comments, she'll be okay.
Yeah, well, under the circumstances, I suppose I can manage. All I want is for you guys to be happy, that's all. I don't want to disrupt it in any way. I hope she understands that. And I hope she comes around after you guys settled in.
Yeah, I suppose we just have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks for today. I'll contact you again once we get the wedding schedule all figured out.
Mother? What the hell was that all about? Are you out of your mind or something? Oh, hello, Susan. It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, and congratulations. I was elated to hear from Ken that you gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, and you just came back from the hospital. So glad that it all went well. I really cannot believe you, Mother. You act as though you're so concerned. I can see right through you. How could you send such a thing? Excuse me? Acting concerned? I'm not acting. I am concerned. And what are you talking about, this thing? I'm talking about the baby clothes and the envelope of money. That thing. What the hell were you thinking sending me such a thing? Susan, I really don't know what you mean. I just thought it was an appropriate gift. Just something to congratulate you on giving birth. That's all. I really wasn't sure what to get, so I figured a monetary gift and some baby clothes. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure of your taste, but I picked out something that was pretty basic. Did you not like it? You finally revealed yourself, haven't you? Sending such cheap clothes and money, trying to worm your way in and see your grandson? Pretty sneaky. This baby is our son, not yours. And I bet when you heard it was a boy, you wanted him for yourself. Well, that's not going to happen. I know what you're going to say next. Someone to take over the family, or some crap like that. Am I right? Pardon me? That was certainly not my intention. I didn't think you would use such underhanded tactics. I almost got comfortable because you've been so quiet for the past 3 years. Boy, was I wrong. Did you really think I would be duped into your little scheme with these cheap baby clothes? That's what I was worried about. An obsessive mother. I assure you, that was never my intention. It was just a simple gift for your baby. I didn't want it to be too extravagant. Thought you would take it wrong. As a matter of fact, I just found out it was a boy. I don't want to hear any of your rationalizations. He's not your grandson. Can't you get that through your head? He's not going to be taking over that family or anything like that. Just so you know. Just because you brought Ken up as a single mother does not mean our child will take over your family. Not much of a family to take over anyways. Susan, I have never thought that at all. I couldn't even imagine thinking such a thing. You got me all wrong, Susan. I can't understand why you would think that of me. Playing the victim now, huh? I can read you like a book. You send a gift and money. That only means you want something from me. You wouldn't do this for free. I know the little game you're playing. Curry favor with us, and when you grow old and can't walk anymore, you want us to look after you. That's it, isn't it? I'm not going to fall for your little trick. Don't you dare think you can put one over on me. As for those baby clothes, I dumped them in the garbage. My parents are going to buy me whatever I want. Better quality clothes. Pardon me, are you serious? How could you? I would prefer that you not meddle in our lives. No matter how you try to pander us, we will never have any family interaction with you. Keep that in mind. And I will tell you this right now, I have no intention of looking after you when you get old. You are not seeing our children either. As a matter of fact, it would be preferable if you did not interact with Ken anymore either. Please, Susan, listen to me. You've got me all wrong. Can't you just give me a little time to explain myself? No, I don't want to hear it. There is nothing more for us to talk about. Just forget about us. Make like we never existed. Goodbye.
Mom, what the hell are you up to? Susan just got out of the hospital and was finally able to relax. I wish you wouldn't upset her like that. She needs to rest.
I have no idea why she's so angry at me. All I did was send her some gifts and a little money. I think she just put a block on me. I tried contacting her, but there's no response.
I told you not to interfere with her life. She's real sensitive about all that. You do remember me talking about that, right? Did you really have to send that gift? Just leave us be, Mom. Actually, she thinks it's some kind of ploy. I'm starting to think so too.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Come on, Mom. Don't sound so innocent. So, Susan was right about this all along. There was $5,000 in that envelope. What is it that you really want from us, Mom? Don't tell me you're trying to buy our son from us, are you, Mom? Because no way that's happening. Or do you want us to feel duty-bound to you and worm your way into living with us? That's it, isn't it? Did you really think that $5,000 would buy you a grandson and a home to live in and eventually us taking care of you? We can see right through your scheme, Mom.
Ken, how can you even say or think that about your own mother? I've been very patient for the past few years, but what you're saying is absolutely irrational. Please explain it to me from the very start. I just can't wrap my head around why you two are acting the way you are.
Yeah, okay. You may be right. This may be a good time as any to explain things to you. Also, I want you to know what I've been holding back for God knows how long. It all boils down to me being brought up by a single parent.
Excuse me?
I grew up without a father. My childhood growing up was a depressing time for me. Did you even know that? We grew up poor too, and that sure wasn't easy. I was so ashamed of not having a father. I was bullied constantly at school about that. I had a tough time growing up, and it was all your fault. Even after I left home, you insisted that I support you financially. Although it wasn't much, it was your way of manipulating me, never giving me the freedom I craved. And what do you do after I get married? You worm your way into my family and start snooping around and trying to control us. Always trying to manipulate things your way. It always has to be your way. Susan's parents never try to interfere in our affairs. At all.
Ken, am I hearing you right? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can't stand being manipulated by you. No more. This ends here. I don't consider you my mother. You never did anything that would merit such a title. I would much rather that we cut all family ties. I consider Susan's parents as my real true family. I no longer want anything from you, and I don't plan on supporting or interacting with you ever again. That also means we won't allow you to see our son. Have a good time living at the old folks alone and with nobody to take care of you. I hope you'll think long and hard about how you treated me all these years. Don't ever, and I mean ever, interfere in our lives again.
I understand. I had no idea you felt that way about me. Because I brought you up as a single parent, you no longer consider me your mother and you want to cut all ties with me? You feel I sent you a gift and money for the sole purpose of tricking you into supporting me in my final years? Is that it? That's why you've been acting this way?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So don't ever show your face in our home again. You got that?
I hear you loud and clear, Ken. If that's the case, would you vacate the place you're living in now then?
Huh? Say again? Why will we do that? Are you talking about the apartment we're living in right now? This place?
That's right. If you insist that you don't want my support or anything to do with me, I want you out of that apartment ASAP.
Like I said, why would I do that? Are you crazy? I've been living in this apartment since I was in college. I've always lived here. You have no right to kick me out of here.
That's where you're wrong, Ken. That apartment you guys are living in, I own that apartment.
Excuse me? You own this apartment?
That's right. I bought it about 10 years ago. The whole place belongs to me. You can check if you like.
No way. That's not true. You're making that crap up.
It's true. I can show you the deed. Because I own the place, you guys are able to live there for half the usual rent. When you started living alone after entering college, it was me who found you that apartment. You do remember that, don't you?
Yeah, I remember, but you never told me you were the owner. That can't be right. How could that be? Where do you even get that kind of money?
Where? I worked for it, that's where. Although the company isn't that big, I am the president of a small apparel company. I do have a bit of income.
What? The owner? The president of a clothing company? That's a barefaced lie. How could you, my mother, own an apartment, much less be the president of a clothing firm? Come on, Mom. Don't give me that crock. Anyways, we've been poor all our lives. You were always working, always tight-fisted, money conscious about everything. You always had the neighbor babysit me and Caroline growing up, for God's sakes.
What neighbor? Oh, you mean Mrs. Lopez? The one who used to come over when you were kids? She wasn't a neighbor. She was a housekeeper I had hired.
Huh? A housekeeper?
Yes, that was when you were just kids. It was about a year after your father passed away. The apparel company that I had established was in full swing. I hired Mrs. Lopez to take care of the house chores and babysit you guys. The neighbor you're talking about? You must mean Mrs. Lopez.
Are you for real, Mom? You hired a housekeeper? We weren't that well off that we could hire a housekeeper.
Why did you even think we were poor? I never considered us poor. I never put you through hardship while growing up. Did you ever not have enough to eat or have the proper clothes when needed? I provided all that to you. And you don't remember all the trips we went on. How about those weekend trips to the amusement park or the zoo? Don't tell me you forgot all that. I made sure you went to the best schools, the schools you wanted to go to. That private school you went to, all your uniforms or whatnot were brand new. No hand-me-downs. You were able to pursue any sport or hobby you wanted. And what about college? Who do you think paid your tuition? You didn't have a scholarship to fall back on. And I've never received any kind of support from you, despite what you say. As a matter of fact, it was me that supported you. When did I ever take from you?
Huh? Well, I was just... Ever since Susan learned that I grew up in a single-parent home, well, she said that it must have been hard living in poverty and not having a father. Always being manipulated by my mother, she felt sorry for me. She'd always repeated this and sympathizing with me. That's when I started to realize that I was brought up poor. At least that's what I thought. I'm not sure what to think anymore.
It seems Susan got it in her head that a single parent means being poor. You never experienced a normal family like Susan had, so you believed everything she said. I was wondering why you suddenly had this fierce animosity toward me. Now I get the whole picture.
Mom, I'm really sorry. It was just that, now that you mention it, you did pay my college tuition. And you sent me an adequate allowance on a regular basis. I never had any money problems. As a matter of fact, I was living better than most of my friends. But like an idiot, I forgot about all that. I was such a jerk to believe that crap. Please forgive me, Mom.
There is no need to apologize. As a matter of fact, I feel relieved now that I know the real reason why you and Susan were acting this way toward me.
Mom, thanks for understanding.
Let's get back to what we were talking about the apartment. From next month, I'm going to ask that you pay the normal rent just like everyone else there.
Huh? Wait, what? But why?
Why? You don't need my help anymore, right? If you want to continue living there, well, just pay the usual rent. That's all I'm asking. If you can't do that, you're just going to have to move out.
Wait a second, Mom. I just finished explaining everything to you. So why? It was all just one big mistake. So let's just get back to how it's always been. I apologized, didn't I? You said you were relieved, for Pete's sake.
I was just relieved to hear the reason you were mean. That has nothing to do with the apartment. After you said all those awful things to me, that you didn't think of me as your mother, that you wanted to cut all ties with me. Oh, and you were embarrassed that you grew up without a father, and that was my fault. Remember saying that? Then you do a flip-flop and say you're sorry and everything is back to square one. I'm sorry, but that sounds way too disrespectful. It just doesn't fly, Ken.
Yeah, but I explained all that.
Words are like bullets, Ken. They can injure people. There is no reversing it. My patience has reached its limit, and as you wish, I will cut all ties with you. No more support from me going forward, just so you know. And when the time comes, I plan to leave everything, the company, home, and that apartment you're living in, right now, to Carolyn and her family. And about taking care of me in my senior years. I already arranged everything in that regard, so no worries there. You don't have to return all the money I sent you during college or that money I sent you last week for the baby.
Wait, Mom, please. You can't do this to us. Apartment rent. We just had a kid, for God's sakes. We can't afford to pay more for rent, much less move out.
What are you saying? Where'd that aggressive attitude go? You were all set on going in on your own. You didn't want my help.
Please, Mom, forgive me. I was totally out of line. You can't do this to us.
I am sorry, son. I already made up my mind. Talk the rest over with your wife. Hello, Mother. This is Susan, your daughter-in-law. I'm so sorry for all the trouble we've caused. Ken explained everything to me. I had this negative perception of you. A total skewered viewpoint, to say the least. I was so rude to you. How can I ever make amends for how I treated you? The past years must have been hell for you. Please forgive me. Hello, Susan. Thanks for contacting me. I know you're very busy with your son and all, but there is no need for you to apologize. Think nothing of it. You must be drained after your stay in the hospital. You should get plenty of rest, so calm down. I will not be interfering in your affairs any longer. Rest assured. Please, don't say that. I know this is asking a lot, but please give us one more chance. I'll go over there and apologize in person. Let me explain everything to you. That it was all just a simple misunderstanding. I'll bring your grandson with me too. You do want to meet your grandson, right? Please, I'd rather you didn't. I'd prefer it that we not interact. I haven't seen you for 3 years. Not since the wedding. I don't even recall what you look like. I'm not in the mood to meet people I don't know very well. It's just stressful for older folks. And about bringing your baby, I really must decline. Pardon me? You don't want to see your grandson? If you cut ties with us, that means you won't be able to see your grandson forever. Well, I've got 4 grandkids right next door at my daughter Caroline's place, so I think I'll be fine. Besides, that's your child, right? You said he was not my grandson. You did say that, right? Yes, I did say that, but that was because... Also, using your child as a pawn to lure a poor grandmother in? Kind of despicable, wouldn't you say? That really was not my intention. I'm really guilt-ridden over all this. Ashamed that I even acted that way. And about the clothes and money you sent as a gift, I know it's kinda late, but I really appreciate your thoughtfulness. I'm sorry about the baby clothes. Oh, the baby clothes I sent. Yes, those. You threw those cheap things out, right? I must thank you. Those baby clothes were made at my company. I already reprimanded the staff for their shoddy workmanship. Wait, that was made at your company? Yes, it must have been embarrassing for you to receive such substandard baby clothes. My daughter loved them, so I figured you would too. I'm to blame. Please accept my apologies. No, please don't say that. They weren't cheap at all. They were wonderful, the perfect gift. Please, I don't know what to say. All I can do is apologize. Ever since I was a child, I watched my mother get bullied by my grandmother. I was not treated all that well by her either. Always being reprimanded for one thing or another. Once I got married, I thought I would be treated the same way. Maybe even have my child taken from me. I was just so scared. I just wanted to protect my family. I was adamant about not getting pulled into that kind of situation again. I understand what you went through and that your grandmother was an awful person. We all encounter such people in our lives. But I'm not the same person as your grandmother. Not a mother-in-law or some such label you prefer to apply, but a human being. It's very emotionally distressing to be treated in such a way without knowing the reason why. It leaves a person traumatized. Please forgive me. I did say those things without even knowing you at all. It's an unforgivable thing I did to you. My perspective was totally skewered. I beg your forgiveness. There is no need to apologize any further. I also would prefer that you not visit and apologize in person. I'm also worried about your health after what you went through. I need to get things sorted out. Let's just keep things as it is for the time being, and maybe we'll talk after a while. Yes, I understand. Okay, then take care of yourself, Susan. I received a letter from Susan soon after. She repeated her apologies and explained why she acted the way she did. I was even paid a visit by her parents, whom I had never actually met, apologizing on her behalf. After a while, I relented to her constant apologies and felt she was sincere, and we came to a mutual understanding. But it was Ken that would not give up. He was set on trying to get me to financially support him, that he resorted to coming over late at night and trying to persuade me to change my mind. He even resorted to practically kidnapping his child from Susan and driving over 2 hours to our home in an attempt to curry favor with me. He even turned on his wife, blaming her for turning on his mother in the first place. In the end, it was Ken that caused trouble for both Susan and myself. But on his last attempt at trying to persuade me, Susan stopped him and severely reprimanded him for his ways. She was eventually able to get him to see the light, but the whole incident caused Susan to contemplate divorce. And after a few years, that's exactly what happened. Ken is currently living alone somewhere, with no rights to see his child, only burdened with child support payments. Susan was wrong in having such a negative perspective of me, but she paid the price for that and made amends for her mistake. It was Ken that was the problem. His emotions took over and he was not able to stop until he got his way, which eventually led to his demise. As for my relationship with Susan, we maintained a cordial relationship through the years and even exchanged Christmas cards and birthday greetings every year. Recently, we got together for my grandson's birthday party. I think we've started an amiable relationship. I actually enjoy her company.
Hey there, is this Renee, the woman engaged to a man named Frank? Who is this? I bet that right now you're starting to get concerned that your groom hasn't shown up for your wedding yet, am I right? You don't need to answer, I'm totally right. If you don't tell me who you are, I'm just going to block your number. So you have about 10 seconds to do that before I just dismiss you as some troll. Someone's grumpy. I'm Millie. I'm a 19-year-old college student, and today I'm going to become the luckiest girl in the world when I get married to Frank. What? What do you mean? Is this a prank? Oh, I know what you're thinking. But I'm the one who's marrying Frank today. But too bad for you. Frank and I have been seeing each other for 6 months now. And today we're finally going to get married. We're having a private ceremony for just the two of us where we'll pledge our endless love for one another. In other words, he's not going to come to your ceremony, so don't bother waiting for him. Now, I bet you're just about to start crying bitter tears of anger, jealousy, and sadness over this, so I recommend you go ahead and tell all your guests to go home before things start getting really ugly. Millie? Are you the Millie who started working part-time at our company this year? Yep, that's me. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know the situation. What's with that reaction? Were you expecting something else? Oh, I think I get it. You knew this was coming, didn't you? You had already resigned to the fact that Frank would end up leaving you eventually anyway, huh? That's probably for the best. You're nowhere near good enough for him. After all, you're a 41-year-old woman who's never been married. You have to know that no man would ever really want you. Aw, it's gonna be really hard for you to find a husband at your age, huh? I almost feel bad for you. Almost, but not quite. Sorry I'm such a bad girl and took your fiancé from you, but really, think about it. I think I speak for everyone in the world when I say this, but who the hell would want to go to some old hag's wedding? Gross! I bet your fat rolls are pouring out of your white dress. And at your age, there is no way you would ever be able to have kids. I could go on, but I think I've said enough for now. It's clear that Frank will be way happier with a 19-year-old college girl like me than a dried-up old hag like you. I'm 19, you're 41. The choice is clear. It's like, what would you rather have? A fresh-baked loaf of bread or one that's been getting moldy beneath the fridge for 41 years? Oh, and in this analogy, you're the moldy bread. Is there anything else you'd like to say to me, or are you finished? What's the matter? You starting to tear up now? I have some business to attend to, and I was just about to step outside. Thanks to you, that business just increased tenfold, so if it's all right with you, we can go ahead and end this conversation here, and I'll go on about my day. What are you talking about? Oh, I see. Now you've got to go tell everyone waiting for you in the chapel that your fiancé left you standing at the altar because you're a dried-up old granny. No, that's not it. Oh, you mean no one was actually in the chapel anyway? It's like I said, who would want to see your cellulite-ridden carcass wearing a strapless dress? They'd lose their lunch for sure. Okay, well, I'll let you go and drink your sorrows away. Have a good time. As for me, I'm gonna go and exchange wedding vows with my hubby-to-be, Frank. Wedded bliss, here I come. So long, Granny. Don't forget to take your Alzheimer's meds today. How goes the wine binge, you lonely old hag? I have a name, and it's Renee. Use it. If you're 19, then you're old enough to know what is and is not an acceptable way to speak to someone. Frank's mother, your future mother-in-law, will no doubt be on your case constantly about how you speak around her. And if you're really intent on marrying him, I think you'd better prepare yourself mentally right now for what you're about to get yourself into. You're unreal. What are you doing here, trying to prove to me that you know Frank better than me? That you love him more than me? Well, I'm really sorry to break this to you. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. But I have a very, very important announcement to make. Would you like to hear it? Would you? I'm very busy, so make it quick. Just a few minutes ago, Frank and I were officially joined in the bonds of holy matrimony. We're married. Wow. Already? Yeah, already. Do you see now? That's how much Frank and I are in love with each other. Being married at 19 is the best. None of my friends are married. They're all going to be super jealous when I tell them. Plus, that's definitely going to put me ahead socially with the other girls on campus. I can just be like, step aside, girlfriend. I've got a husband. I can only hope that it goes that well for you. Please, keep it coming. Keep it coming. I want to take in all of your bitter jealousy. Oh, and guess what else? I'm going to move into Frank's awesome high-rise condo tonight. Ah, I see. So that's what you were after. Frank's 38, just 3 years apart from me, but we're both more than twice your age. I was curious what on earth you would possibly see in him, but everything makes sense now. Like I said, Granny, just keep it coming. I can taste the bitterness in each and every one of your texts. I think you ought to know, however, that the condo Frank lives in actually belongs to your father-in-law. Oh, really? Huh, that's weird. But whatever. I don't care whose name is on the title as long as I get to enjoy my lovey-dovey time with my new hubby, Frank. Wow. You're something else, Millie. Not many people would willingly march straight into the gates of hell like you're doing right now. I commend your bravery. Huh? What do you mean, the gates of hell? But hey, if you're happy with that, then more power to you. Hold on, what are you talking about? You're kind of freaking me out now. Best of luck in your married life. You'll need it. Boy, that was a whole lot of nothing. What were you acting so weird for anyway? His condo was totally normal. Frank and I had a wonderful first night as man and wife. I guess you were just trying to scare me or something. What a loser. You are so super jealous that I get Frank and you get to die alone. Now I know that I was concerned about nothing, so you can't bother me anymore. So seriously, can you grow up and move on? I know you're probably never going to completely get over it, but I don't want you to be constantly trying to interfere with our marriage. Got it? You're going to have to face facts eventually, so you might as well do it now. You are never going to have Frank. It is never going to happen. You read me? Never. Never. It is over. Okay, I'm going to go back and do a little more smooching with Frankie now. Toodles! Oh my God, being a bride at 19 is the best thing I've ever done, like bar none. I just announced on Instagram that I got married and started my life in a high-rise condo, and I am getting swarmed with likes. My phone is totally blowing up with notifications. All the other girls are super jealous of me. You should look up my Instagram account. Do you want me to tell you my username? I've got a ton of adorable pictures of me in my wedding dress. I look fantastic. It'll show you what you could have had if you were young and beautiful like me and not old and dried up like you. Renee, what is going on here? I have no idea. You tell me. Frank's parents just got here. Frank's mom came right up to him and gave him a huge kiss on the cheek and called him her little Frankie poo. I thought that was gross, but then Frank called his mom Mommy. He actually called her Mommy. Oh. And then it gets worse. Frank said that his parents are going to live together with us starting today. But that's not even all. Frank and his mom are going to sleep together in the bedroom, and I'm going to have to sleep on the living room couch. I've heard of mama's boys, but what the hell? Frank is 38. Let me guess. Frank's dad just looks at the two of them being an absolute gross fest, shakes his head, laughs, and pretends it's just some cute mother-son affection, right? Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. And why didn't he tell me anything about his parents living with us? Well, if you don't like the situation, you could always divorce him. Don't be stupid. I can't divorce him. I just announced to my Instagram followers that I got married yesterday. I'm not going to be a divorced woman at 19. You don't want to spend your youthful years getting nauseous at the sight of that giant mama's boy living out an Oedipus complex, do you? But if I get divorced, my social value as a woman is going to plummet. Well, you know your options. The choice is up to you. And don't say I didn't warn you. I told you that you were marching straight towards the gates of hell, didn't I? Well, I told you that the condo Frank lives in is actually your father-in-law's. His parents run a pretty big real estate company, and thanks to them, Frank is able to live in condos and apartments that would ordinarily be way, way too far above his means. You knew about that? And it was precisely the mother-son relationship that's making you sick to your stomach right now that got me to break off our engagement 2 weeks ago. Wait, what? You broke off your engagement 2 weeks ago? Yep, 2 weeks ago. We both joined our company at roughly the same time around 20 years ago. So we worked together on a lot of projects, and eventually he asked me out on a date. His work was pretty good, and he seemed like a trustworthy guy, so I agreed, and we started dating. But then one fateful day, I was unfortunate enough to witness exactly how close his relationship with his mother was when I walked into the condo unexpectedly, and, well, after that, I just could never look at him the same way again. Wow. When I very honestly told him and his mother exactly how I felt about their relationship and why I was breaking off the engagement, his mother lost it. She told me that she had chosen me, an older woman, to care for him just like she always did. And she chose you, Millie, to fulfill his desires since you were younger and prettier than me. The last thing she ever said to me was, Fine. I knew you would never be enough to give him what he really needs, me. And if you're not going to look after him for me, then I'll just have to take care of Frank myself. Oh, and by the way, it was that little slip-up by her that made me aware of your relationship with Frank, so you have his mother to thank for that, too. Oh, no. And that was my first reason for breaking off the engagement, his disgusting relationship with his mother. So, wait, what happened to your wedding yesterday? What wedding? We canceled it a long time ago, obviously. But didn't you say that you had a lot more work to do because of me? I thought you meant that you had a lot of work to do to cancel the wedding. You know, call the venue, the caterer, the band, all that stuff. No, that's not what I meant at all. I was just so appalled that my ex-fiance's mistress would so brazenly announce herself to me like you did that I decided to move up the timeline of the punishment I was planning for you. I had to get a last-minute appointment with my lawyer. I was lucky he was free that morning. What do you need a lawyer for? Which brings me to the second reason I broke off the engagement. As I told you a short while ago, I was aware that you had some sort of relationship with my ex-fiance for some time before you texted me to rub your marriage to Frank in my face. What I didn't know was that your relationship had been going on for as much as 6 months, and that it was going on behind my back while we were engaged. In other words, that you were actually having an affair. Yeah, well, so what? I had been trying to get some hard evidence of exactly how long your relationship had been going on and how far you had gone because I couldn't move forward without it. But thanks to you, I now have all the evidence I could have ever hoped for. I'm going to sue the two of you for your affair. You can't sue me. You weren't even married yet. That's not an affair. Actually, as being engaged is, in legal terms, a contract, you could say that it's a form of tortious interference. But yes, I can sue you. My lawyer hasn't calculated the final amount yet, but you should prepare yourself to be hit for something in the realm of the low 5-digit range. What? You can't do this to me! You have only yourself to blame for getting involved with an engaged man. I think the paperwork should be ready within the next few days, so you'll be hearing from my lawyer shortly. I do recommend you do exactly as he says. Fighting this will only make matters worse for you. This can't be happening. I don't have that kind of money. I'm still in college. Millie's parents had divorced and were both remarried to different people, and they had effectively cut Millie out of their lives. Ultimately, Frank's parents had to foot the bill for both my lawsuit against him and the one against Millie. With nowhere else to turn, Millie had no choice but to accept her new position in life, living together in that condo with Frank and his parents. However, one day it seems that Frank's father finally had enough of being a third wheel for his wife and son and told his family that he wanted a divorce. And since the condo was in his name, his wife and son had no say in the matter, so he promptly kicked them all out onto the curb. At the same time, Frank, who was enjoying his life married to a woman half his age, made a massive mistake on a project that cost the company millions of dollars. This led to the discovery of years of malfeasance from him, so he was unceremoniously fired. So now we find Millie in the situation of dealing with her psychotic mother-in-law and newly unemployed husband, who is also 20 years her senior. Frank was facing criminal charges for his malfeasance at his old job, so his employment prospects were less than zero. His mother was far too busy waiting on him hand and foot to even think about getting a job herself. In the end, Millie had to drop out of college and get multiple part-time jobs in order to support the three of them.
Good morning, Melanie. I just arrived to your hospital room. I don't see you around. I brought a change of clothes. Everything okay? Is there something you want me to take back home with me? Like laundry or something?
Oh, hey, Mom. Yeah, actually there is. There's a bunch of laundry in the closet near the door. Get those washed, would you?
All right, no problem. Oh, and Melanie, there's one more thing.
Yeah? What is it?
You and the baby are scheduled to come home the day after tomorrow, right?
Yes, that's right. Why do you ask?
Well, I suddenly have this urgent issue back at my parents' place, and I won't be home for a few days. So I asked my son to take the afternoon off
the day after tomorrow to pick you up by cab. Hope that's okay. Oh, yeah? Okay, so Rob is gonna pick me up, huh? No problemo. No problemo? Oh, yes, I get it. I really feel awful about it. No worries, I'll be fine. Actually, I'm sort of thankful. Excuse me? Never mind. Hey, Mom. Weren't you supposed to be back from your folks' place about now? Yes, that's right. I should be home in about an hour or so. Oh, yeah? You don't have to come home. Oh, wait. Pardon me? After your husband died, your son Rob and I live in the main house. And you live in the attached cottage out back, right? Yes, that's right. What about it? Since I'm alone, I prefer the smaller house. Less to clean, it's actually quite comfortable. Although we live on the same property, we made it a rule that we would not interfere with each other's lives. I see. Then it's decided. Please vacate that cottage, please. Excuse me? But why do you say that? Seems obvious, right? After your husband passed away, the house was handed down to Rob, who's your only son. So I figured, since I am Rob's wife, I have the authority to determine who lives here and who doesn't. Makes perfect sense, right? And what's more, I just gave birth to a healthy young boy who will next take over this property someday. So, simply put, I surpassed you as the authority figure here. I make the decision about this family and this property. You're not making much sense, Melanie. If you can't understand, I can explain it to you again. If you like, I got all the time in the world. Oh, and that little cottage you're living in now? Once you're out, my folks will move in, so I'd appreciate it if you get your stuff out of there ASAP. Thanks. I really wish you would stop making all the decisions like I didn't even exist. Considering that it would be hard bringing up a kid, it would be way easier for me to ask my folks rather than my mother-in-law, who I hardly know. Don't you agree? Don't you agree that a stress-free environment is important for bringing up a child? For both mother and child? So, you feel that my presence is stressful. Is that what you're trying to say? Please, Mom, don't get me wrong. It's not just about you. I just grew up thinking that, that all in-laws are supposed to be a little, cruel and nasty. Does Rob feel the same way as you? I haven't asked him, but I'm sure he feels exactly the same. But I can't be persuaded to change my mind. If I can get $10,000 a month as support payment, my mind can be easily swayed. Pardon me, $10,000? Obviously, you can't pay such a fortune, so I want you out of the cottage by the end of the day. Even if I was to leave, I still have a lot of stuff in the house. I need a few days. I bet you're just saying that, and then you're gonna squat there forever. I have other accommodations, so that won't be necessary. Are you sure about that? I remember when you first moved in, Melanie. Those huge cardboard boxes? How did you even get those boxes to the house? I've always wondered about that. You know perfectly well how hard it is to move. It's not as easy as packing a bag and saying goodbye. Yeah, but I really doubt you have somewhere else to live, but again, that's your problem. Okay then, I'll give you until Sunday to move out. That should be more than enough time. If you're even a day late in moving out, we cut family ties and you'll never see your grandchild ever again. You're out of the house, like it or not. Just keep that in mind. Cut family ties, huh? I may be saying that to you sooner rather than later. Yeah, whatever.
Judith, is this true? Did you really move out of your own place?
Good morning, Rob. Please, no need to worry about me. I'm fine. As you all know, I have other accommodations.
But it seems unfair. This is your home.
Yes, it is. By the sound of it, apparently Melanie hasn't mentioned anything.
Melanie, did she say something to you?
Yes, it was Melanie who told me to get out of the house. She seemed pretty adamant about it too.
Are you joking? She told you to leave your own home. Why?
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this to you before, but I just want to make sure. She knows that we're not related, no blood ties, and that I haven't officially registered you as my child. She knows this, right?
Yeah, I told her that before we even got married. She thought it was weird at first when I kept calling you Judith, but when she asked me about that, I told her that my dad brought me up as a single parent, and that you and Dad got married after I finished school and was already working. I also explained that since I was already an adult, I wasn't really necessary to do all the paperwork for adoption.
That's what I wanted to verify. Thanks.
Do you have any evidence that Melanie demanded that you leave?
Yes, she contacted me online. So the whole conversation should be there word for word.
I'd appreciate it if you could send me the entire conversation. I want to get a grasp of the whole situation.
Okay, I can do that. I'll send it later.
Oh, and one more thing. Now that you moved out, I don't see how we can go on living here any longer. The only problem is that Melanie just got out of the hospital and is still pretty weak and needs rest. As you know, the baby is tiny. We really shouldn't be taking our son outside for now. Would you mind waiting 3 or so months until we're ready to move? I'd really appreciate it.
Of course, Rob. How can I say no?
Thank you so much, Judith, and I'm really sorry about all this. And I appreciate your considerateness.
No need to apologize. I just hope things work out for you two. Or should I say 3? Hey, pick up, would you? This is my first time hearing about this. What's going on? Oh, hello, Melanie. It's been a while. How are you? Let's cut the niceties, shall we? Why the hell do we have to move out? You're the one who was supposed to get the hell out of here. I finally scheduled it so that my folks would move in. As a matter of fact, they just terminated their apartment lease and packed their stuff. What the hell is going on? What have you done? I'm sure you heard everything from Rob. He told you that the owner of the house is me. That can't be right. When a father dies, the son takes over as heir. Rob's the only son. The house obviously goes to him. What are you, delusional? And you have to pay all kinds of taxes too, like property and state taxes. You're just a housewife. You would never be able to pay that. Oh, I see now. That's where all misunderstandings come from. A misunderstanding? What are you talking about? For starters, I'm not a housewife. Actually, I'm an investor. Wait, excuse me? An investor? I'm not only investing in stocks, but also have considerable real estate assets too. And that house you guys are living in right now? I bought that house years ago, which is also in my name. Wait a sec, am I hearing you right? My husband's office was not far away, so when we married, we moved in here. It was just more convenient. After a few years, Rob got transferred to this area, so he moved in with us. The place is pretty big, so 3 adults wasn't a problem, and we had the cottage out back. We lived a nice, peaceful existence for years, before you arrived. So, does that mean that the house will not be Rob's for the foreseeable future? That's where you got your wires crossed again, Melanie. About any inheritance, we decided long ago that when my sister's child turns 30, she would inherit the house. We decided that years ago, and Rob's father was well aware of it, as Rob is. I'm surprised he didn't tell you. Are you for real? That doesn't make sense. Even if Rob is not your real child, he is nevertheless your son. You can't deny that. He has rights too. Being your son, he has way more rights and priority than some niece or nephew. I never officially adopted him as my son. Therefore, there is no inheritance involved. Although he may be perceived as my son. I don't want to sound crude, but he is actually a stranger. Wait a second. So, does that mean, no matter what I do, this house will never be mine? That seems to be the case. You can't do this! No way! I won't let you do this! I already talked to Rob about all this. I'm bewildered by your reaction. I thought it was all resolved. This wasn't how it was supposed to end! We were supposed to get the house. My folks were supposed to. Am I hearing you right? Was that your intention? To somehow outright own that house? Is this what it's all about? Yeah, so what? I have no say in what you two are going to do going forward. That's for you and Rob to decide. Excuse me? I decided to move out and live at my summer home near the ocean. As for that house, I'm going to put it up for rent in the near future. Once I get the schedule figured out, I'll send you the date I will need you to move out. I would appreciate it if you get all your things packed and ready to move out by then. How did it turn out this way? What's going on? Can you at least give us that summer home? Hello, Mom. It's been a while. How have you been? Is that you, Melanie? What do you want? I hope it's not about extending your stay. I already have that place on the market. Besides, I thought we made it clear that we have to cut all ties. Cut ties? Why would we do that? Can't you see me and your grandson right outside your window on your front doorstep? Come on, Mom. Open up the front door and let us in. Pardon me? What are you talking about? Which front doorstep? Are you even at the right house? I'm looking outside the door, but I don't see anybody. You're not fooling me one bit with that kind of play acting, Mom. I did a little checking up on you, like where you moved. Pardon me? You checked up on me? Remember a few months back? You were talking about moving to your summer house back east, near the ocean. Now that has to be the ritzy area near Hamilton Beach, right? I did a thorough check on that place. I checked every address around the area and finally tracked you down. Hamilton Beach? I don't live in Hamilton Beach. Where'd you get that idea? Huh? Oh, wait, what? There are plenty of other areas that have wonderful beach resorts all up and down the East Coast. I never said I had a summer home in the Hamilton Beach area. But your name's right here on the mailbox. That's how I tracked you down. My last name is pretty common. I read somewhere that it's one of the top 10 names in the US. I bet there are dozens of people in that area with my first and last name. You're kidding me, right? You're not pulling a fast one on me now, are you?
Now, why would I do that? I have no reason to lie to you. If you're making a scene in front of some stranger's house, I suggest you leave before they call the police. That was a close call. I talked my way out of it. I said I was lost. That guy was about to call the cops on me. So, Melanie, what's this all about? Pardon me? Why did you come all the way out east to find me? Were you just curious to see where I lived? Well, I figured, you're not getting any younger. Maybe you wanted us to live with you. I mean, with your grandson and all. Live with me? You want to move in with me? Yeah, your husband's passed, living all alone. Figured you'd want some company. I really don't need a total stranger to be concerned about my well-being. But you're living alone and... I didn't mention this before, but I plan on living with my other son. My real son and his family. You have a son? You mean... Yes. We're planning on constructing a 2-family home not far from here. We'll live separately, but live on the same property. Kind of like the arrangement we had before, but more spacious. Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about Rob and his family. Family being me and your grandson. Why didn't Rob tell me? What a relief. But if that's your plan, I would appreciate it if you could maybe stay at that nice little summer home and have my folks move into this new house. Now that would be the best outcome possible. There you go again, Melanie, always coming to hasty conclusions. I said my real son. I wasn't talking about Rob. Not Rob. Wait a sec, what? I have a 28-year-old son from a previous marriage. I suppose that makes him Rob's younger stepbrother. I talked to Rob about this already. I told him I was going to live with my real son and his family. Oh, and they have a 2-year-old daughter. You already have a grandchild? Didn't I tell you this before? I thought I did. Did you? I don't recall. Oh, and didn't Rob file for divorce? Who told you? I don't live with Rob anymore, as you know, but I do keep in touch with him. Despite what you think, Rob and I are on good terms. We've always seen eye to eye. The reason he filed for divorce is mainly because of your infidelity. When did you find out about... I know a lot more than you think, Melanie. Including the fact that the child you gave birth to was not Rob's at all. Rob confided in me that he has no idea who the father is. The DNA test proves it's not his. When did you talk to him about... No use trying to deny it, Melanie. He told me everything. But there must be something. I better get going. I'm having some friends over this afternoon. Please, Mom, Judith, please. I have nowhere to live. Goodbye forever, Melanie. Please, Mom. I later learned that she came looking for my summer home in Hamilton Beach area with her parents in tow. It seems the 4 of them were left with nowhere to live. I guess they figured that if they rushed to my home in Hampton Beach, which is not where I live, somehow they would be able to move in, at least for a while. I think their intention was to somehow kick me out and take over the house. Why they thought that, I have no idea. As a result of their misguided pipe dream, they were left homeless. They were lucky they had their grandchild with them because a nearby relative took pity on them and put them up for a few nights. But word spread of their antics among the relatives, and eventually, sad to say, the child was put up for adoption. I hear they worked out some deal with a relative who owns a ranch out in Montana. They were allowed to live in a converted barn for the foreseeable future. It's apparently a pretty hard life on a farm. But evidently, they are trying to make ends meet as best they can.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
If you really want to get married to me, then you're gonna have to cut ties to your family.
What?
It should be easy for you to do something like that for me, right?
Connor, what are you talking about right now? By the way, why would you be so sudden about this? When you proposed to me a little while ago, you never said anything about me having to leave my family behind if I wanted to marry you. What's happened to you?
I told my parents that I'd already proposed to you and everything, and that I was waiting on an answer from you. And, well, having said that, both of my parents went and had someone take a look into you and your family.
They're taking a look into us? Well, I guess I can understand, sort of, why someone's family would want to do that to the family of their child's fiancé before they actually get married. but you and I have been together for a while now, and both of our families know one another well enough where something like that shouldn't be warranted. And considering this is my family we're talking about, there isn't anything strange about them that would cause you guys to not like me anymore.
And that's what I thought about your family at first as well. But your mom, she works in a factory, right?
What? Yes, that's correct.
And the same goes for your little brother? He works for a different company, but within a factory all the same, right?
That's right. And they actually do work for the same company, but my mom is working in the main factory while my brother is working in a branch factory in the next city over.
Well, that's the first time I've ever heard about that.
It is? Well, I guess we never did really go into detail about where those two are working currently, besides me just telling you the name of the company itself. But that's all you really seemed to care about asking me at the time, so I never went into further detail. Is there some kind of a problem with that?
There's a major problem with that. I was already told by the both of my parents that they're against us getting married due to you not having a father. But after telling them that both your mother and brother work for a large company, you should be just fine as my wife and will work for the same kind of company. Both of my parents are happy because the name of that company alone carries a lot of weight in terms of status, and so my parents said they'd be fine with you as my wife. But just fine.
Huh? Wait a second, Connor, what do you consider my family to be?
I assumed that since they both worked for that company, you would be the same, all working as office workers or maybe even businessmen. However, after having a look inside your family with the help of my parents, what did I find? They're both working in the factory and low-level employees at that.
Hey, what is actually going on with you right now? What is this all about? What do you have against two people that work really hard to make a living in a factory? Both my mom and my brother happen to be really good with their hands and wanted to work in places like that because it suited their strengths. That's all, Connor. And it's not like either one of them are poor right now either.
Listen here, May, you still don't get what I'm trying to say to you? I'm trying to explain to you that two people working in a job meant for lowlifes are no use to my family and I.
Huh? Did you just call their line of work one for lowlifes? I'm not sure what about their jobs has anything to do with being lowlifes, but what you just said there was very rude, right?
May, stop derailing this conversation.
I'm not trying to derail things.
What I'm saying to you right now is that if you do not cut ties to that lowlife family of yours, then I'm not going to be able to marry you. You have a responsibility to answer me right now about that. So let me ask you one last time. Do you have what it takes to cut ties to that lowlife family of yours so that you and I can marry to become husband and wife?
You're asking the impossible from me.
What?
Now, you listen. I never thought you were the kind of man who judged people off of their career alone.
Then I guess you and I can't get married now. Is that what you really want? All you have to do is leave those two behind, and then you can live the rest of your life with me in happiness.
I don't need you. I don't even feel any love for you now. Actually, I feel pretty resentful towards you now and don't ever want to talk to you or your family ever again.
What?
Thank you so much for showing me your true self right now. Saves me a lot of time having to suffer from learning after becoming your wife. Since I never gave you a full answer to your proposal yet, allow me to answer you right now. No. Goodbye forever now.
Hey, May, you're still living in this small city?
What?
I just saw you out in front of the bus station.
Well, if it isn't you, Connor. It's been a long time since I last heard anything from you.
I believe it's been 3 years since the last we talked.
Looks like I completely forgot about blocking you, huh?
What?
Well, allow me to do that right now. Goodbye forever.
Wait! I have something I want to talk with you about.
What could that possibly be, though? I am a very busy woman right now and don't have time to talk with judgmental assholes like you.
What? Well, anyway, I wanted to say, actually, 4 months ago I got married, and that wife of mine's father happens to have his own company, which I've started to work for now.
Very cool. Was that all you had to tell me?
Hold on, listen to this. After listening to some of the conversations and such there, I hear that you happen to be working for a customer of ours.
Is that right? And?
This should seem like a massive chance for you right now, May.
A chance for what, exactly?
I'm gonna take charge of managing the business this company does with yours. So from now on, you sell me that product for half price.
No way, not gonna happen.
Of course, I can understand one wanting to say that right now, but if you want me to give you a little incentive right now, by halving the price, I'll introduce you to a man I know.
Huh?
Now, isn't this turning out to be a really good deal for you, too? How wonderful! You're no longer gonna have to live the rest of your life as an ugly and lonely old hag.
I have no need for a man. I am married to the love of my life now, and nothing is going to ever separate us.
What? You're kidding me, right? Since when did you get married?
More than 5 months ago now.
You went and got married quicker than I did?
Also, I work in a department that doesn't work with anything like customer relations and such, so I have no ability to do business with you on behalf of this company. Go ahead and take over managing that business all you want, but you aren't ever going to be working with me on anything. So if you're wanting to get things at half price from this company, you're going to have to talk with those in the sales department.
Are you kidding me right now? Yo, seems that my wife knows about you somehow.
She does?
She was laughing under her breath about how you used to be my fiancé at one point. So, you were even looked down upon by most of your friends in the past?
So what you're saying is, your wife used to be an old friend of mine or something?
That's what it seems like to me when I was talking with her about how one of the company's customers had my ex working for them. She asked to see a picture of you. And so I showed her a picture of all of us together from a long time ago when we went out camping with our group of friends. I think we were with our friends from college or something like that.
Oh, is that right? I'm starting to remember who your wife might be now. Her name is Jessica, right? She's the only person I can remember from my past who would make fun of and look down on me because she thought she was so amazing having a father who owned and ran a company.
Well, that's correct. Thanks to you and I never getting married, I was able to get married to the daughter of a CEO named Jessica.
Well, congrats. So happy to see that you got what you wanted. May, it's been too long now. We haven't seen one another since the graduation ceremony from back in college. Jessica. Well, come on now. I was so shocked to learn what I'd learned. To think my husband's ex-girlfriend was you, of all people. And just like I'd always known, you are that poor lowlife of a woman who has nothing going for her, right? Two pains in the ass have become a married couple. Damn it. Huh? I'm not sure what you find enjoyable about getting in touch with your husband's ex-girlfriend like this, but you can't just be coming back to me again in order to make fun of me like old times, right? Well, the thing is, I do have something I want to talk with you about, and that's why I'm texting you again. Soon, my dad is going to be having his company's anniversary party, all right? And I thought that it'd be nice of myself to invite you to that party as well. And since this is a once-in-a-lifetime party for you to be coming to, go ahead and bring that husband of yours along as well, please. This is going to be an eating while standing kind of party, and there will be plenty of foods there someone of your class could never eat. But just be sure not to come and gorge yourself on all of the really fancy foods, because the rest of us high-class people have to eat as well. That party is for Company Inn's anniversary, correct? That's right. And I think it will be the perfect place for you to finally learn what kind of an extraordinary person I am, so that you can no longer talk back to me like a sassy, jealous child anymore. I was already invited to that party as a +1 with my husband, so there's no need for you to be inviting me to it as well. Huh? I look forward to seeing you then. What? Why have you and your husband already been invited?
Huh? The wife of the CEO of my company's parent company is you, May? What? Yeah, what the hell is going on here?
Well, you actually came here today? I'm not sure who it was that invited you to come out to my dad's company's anniversary party, but the fact still remains that you are nothing more than a lowlife who came from a fatherless household where everyone is dirt poor. So, like I was saying to you before, there's a lot of food here that someone of your class would never ever have a chance of eating anywhere else, so please don't look like a hog gorging yourself on all of it. By the way, that man standing next to you is your husband, right? He gives off that aura that any average man working a base-level job would be giving. Now, I imagined him being more ugly than he really is, so I'm a bit surprised by that. Wait, huh? Connor is... Hey, May! Why the hell has my husband just gone over to you and started talking with your husband like that? Why are they shaking hands now as well? My mom and dad are talking with him now too? What the hell is going on here? Who the hell is your husband, May?
Hey, May, do you think you could talk with your husband about letting me come work for him at this company's parent company, please? I kind of feel bad for asking this after having already been given a job at this company by Jessica's father, but to be straight up with you, working for the parent company of this company means that I'll be getting paid way more in the future and will just look better as well. And of course there'll be something in it for you, too. I'll give you the reward of coming with me to a 5-star resort where you and I can stay in the most expensive suite there for one night together. How does that sound? You're super happy to be hearing that, right? It's pretty amazing that your husband gets to be the CEO of this company's parent company and all, but you've got to admit that he does not look like he does well in bed. If you do as I asked, I'll make sure to please you the same way I always used to under the sheets.
May, give me your husband right now. I am the one who's meant for a man of that class. And of course, you don't have to give him to me for free. I'll give you Connor back if you can do that for me. This is a message that my husband is asking I relay to you. Oh, just like I thought. He really wants me more than you, right? You are disgusting beyond belief, so I'm going to have to say no to that offer with all my heart. What did you say? Now here's something else for you. I have been getting loads of texts from your husband, and it's also annoying that I am starting to get really frustrated now. Huh? What has Connor been texting you about? If you'd like to know about all the things he has been saying to me, I'll take screenshots of them right now and send the pictures to you. What the hell is all of this? Connor, you bastard! I have an additional message for you. It's not fair for me to just send you all of the things that he said to me recently, so I'm going to go ahead and send him screenshots of all the messages you sent to me as well now. Huh? I really have no desire to get involved in whatever the hell you both want from my husband and I, so we'll be leaving all the fighting between you both now. So please, do what you want amongst each other.
Listen to me right now, you rotten bitch! Who the hell do you think you are going after another woman's husband like that when you have me as your husband right now?
Well, what about you then, Connor? What the hell do you think you're doing asking for her husband to give you a job at his company in exchange for taking her out to a 5-star resort so that you can please her in bed?
As a man, it's my job to do whatever I can to make sure that I have a successful life, right? And that is why I said I would please her for one night if she made me successful.
You have no right offering things like that to her when you can barely even please me at night.
What the hell did you just say? I'm gonna divorce your ass now. Divorce your ass for sure.
Not before I make sure to divorce your ass.
Oh, really? Well, that means we're done then, huh? Then you go and get those divorce papers for us right now and bring them to me.
Late that night, in the corner of a really wealthy neighborhood, the police had to be called out to one decently sized mansion to deal with a domestic assault call. Before the party had ended that night, Jessica came back with divorce papers in hand, yelling for Connor to come out and sign them so they could get divorced. And with all the guests' attention on them, they went back and forth fighting over who was the reason for the divorce, to the point that they started to fight physically. Jessica also screamed about how Connor was trying to leave her father's company to come to my husband's, which left her father feeling even more ashamed than he already was. And so as he asked for all his guests to leave, the police showed up and took care of the situation that had unfolded between those two. Both Jessica and Connor lost ties to all their family, and Connor lost his job working for Jessica's father. One might ask why they never ended up getting that divorce in the end, and the reason for that is because right before Connor was going to sign the papers, he found out how much debt Jessica had put them both in with her crazy spending. And with nobody to help pay that debt off for them, Connor decided that their only choice was to stay together so that they could work as a team to pay it all off. To this day, they are both working close to 60 hours a week at some base-level jobs, trying to pay whatever they can off while not speaking a single word to one another, making it seem as though they're not even husband and wife. As for my husband and I, and what we did on that wild night at Jessica's father's residence, we made sure to stay out of all the fighting that ended up taking place. And when asked who had called the police on them, I made sure to tell them it was me, since I wanted to make sure they both had to deal with the law instead of hurting anyone else. And so after saying such, my husband and I made sure to tell Jessica's father and mother that we would be leaving, and that it was a very fun party indeed. And not even a month after that night, my husband received a call from Jessica's father over the phone, saying he could no longer bear the embarrassment from that night and would be stepping down. The following day, my husband went out to his company and started talks about having it merged back into his company and taking over their whole entire operation. Not too long after those talks, the company was a part of my husband's now, and his yearly earnings increased by another 100,000. I've spoken with my husband about my family's situation before, and we're thinking that next year we'll be giving 50,000 to my brother and 50,000 to my mother so that they can take it easy for a while and enjoy some of the finer things. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
How god-awful! This is crazy disgusting! How dare you have your own husband eat such a deplorable meal as this for lunch at work? Didn't anyone teach you how to cook for the man you want to keep around? God, this is so freaking bad! Making someone as elite as myself, who's about to sit in one of the highest seats within this company, eat something so disgusting!
You always say things like that, yet you went and ate it all, right?
What?
You're always complaining about my cooking like that, so you really don't have to do it over the phone anymore, all right?
What kind of an attitude is that? As your husband, I am trying to give you some very important advice right now as to how you can make your meals more appetizing for me.
Then tell me, what was the most disgusting thing today in that lunchbox?
I shouldn't even have to tell you that it's the freaking broccoli that you cooked. I'm sure you put them in here as the main dish out of this whole lunchbox, but that also happens to be the most disgusting thing I've had to eat. You really are the worst wife ever, Rose.
The fact that you can't even identify the food your mom made for you to eat should mean that you're the worst son ever, right?
What?
That boiled and seasoned broccoli that's in your lunchbox was made by your mother for me to send with you for lunch. She made too much of it last night and told me to take some home and give it to you.
Huh? Wait, my mom was the one who made this?
So if you have a problem with the food she made for you, then how about you go and complain to her instead of me?
Hold on.
Jesus frickin' Christ, Heath. Today is your last day of work before the holidays, right? How about, instead of getting all worked up over the food your mom made for you, you go back to work and stop wasting your company's money? Good evening, Rose. Good evening, Irene. It's getting very close to that time of the year again, isn't it? It sure is. Rose, are you already on break from work right now? Sure am. Yesterday was my last day of the year, and I'm now off for the next 2 weeks. Are you wanting to ask for my help with making the Christmas dinner this year? Oh, no. You don't have to worry about cooking for us all this year. What? Are you sure? We talked about how this year a lot more of the family would be coming over to my place this year to celebrate before, correct? Oh, that's right. We talked about how we'd need to be cooking a lot more to prepare for the dinner and everything, and your daughter and you made a plan for a lot of it. That's right. We sure did work on a plan for that. But my husband brought up to me that having to cook for 20 people around Christmas would be pretty tough since we all love to eat, so he said we should just order catering for the dinner. He said that he'd be the one paying for all of it and asked that you go ahead and choose what place you want to have cater us. Wow, he's so generous for thinking of that. He really is. Now that I think about it now, we should have been getting someone to cater us years ago. What? Why do you say that? Well, if you take last year, for example, you were asked to do so much for us for that dinner that it was really a tough time, right? I feel so bad about that, all because I wasn't able to cut well with my right wrist hurting so badly then, and at that time my daughter was out of the country for work, so she wasn't able to help. And when it comes to my husband, he can do some basic cooking, but nothing as difficult as a full table dinner for Christmas. So, in the end, you were asked to take care of that whole entire dinner for everyone, which must have been a battle, to say the least. All of that couldn't be helped at the time, so you don't have to feel sorry for me. And I was able to learn all sorts of new recipes and actually had a blast going and cooking all of them for you guys. The fact that you would say something like that about it is why I love you so much, Rose. Well, it's because of things like that that I really wish we started doing catering for our Christmas dinner a lot sooner. So this year, we're all going to be taking it really easy and having someone come to the house to leave us all sorts of food. I hope you're looking forward to that. I sure am. Thank you so much, Irene. Now I'll talk to you again soon. Sure thing. Talk to you again soon.
Hey, what the hell is all of this?
What are you talking about?
I knew it! You suck at cooking!
What the heck, Heath? I'm in the middle of going to the grocery store right now and don't have the time to listen to more of this.
Jeez. On a day when all of my family is getting together to celebrate Christmas and the family, you can't even put together a half-decent meal for us. You really are done for.
I asked what the heck you're talking about right now, so tell me. I don't get why you're sitting around at your parents' house right now making fun of my cooking still when I haven't even done anything yet.
While I was wandering around the house, I walked into the kitchen and saw all of this food on the counter.
Ah, so you're going on about that food? Considering that more of your family will all be coming over to your parents' house this year than normal, there will be a lot more mouths to feed. I think around 20 people will be around for dinner today.
I can't believe there'll be that many of us this year.
I am just as stunned by the amount of people as you are.
And you've really done it now, putting together all of that garbage for my whole entire family to eat today.
What? Garbage?
No matter how you tried to play things off, all that crap on the counter was garbage. Just looking at some of the food in those trays made me want to gag. And when I tried some of it for myself, it was actually the worst thing I'd ever tasted.
Hold on. Are you saying that you already went and had a taste of that food which is meant for all of the family to eat for dinner?
I thought it would be important for me to make sure none of it could kill someone.
You were checking to see if it was poisonous?
And after I found out how awful it really was, I took all of that food off the counter and chucked it all into the trash outside.
Huh? That was enough food to feed 20 people, and you threw it all in the trash?
I sure did. Don't make such freaking trash for my family to eat next time.
No way. I didn't even make anything for them this year.
What?
Did nobody tell you what the plan was for this year's Christmas dinner? Considering that there are so many mouths to feed this year and that we're also celebrating your grandma, your father's idea was that we order catering to come and provide all the food.
You guys bought all of that food? Weren't you supposed to be in charge of making all the food for dinner like last year?
Last year, there was your mother's wrist being injured and your older sister being out of town that led to me being the only one around who could cook. I heard that it was your father who went and paid for all of that food this time. That's why we were able to order so much.
What?
I heard that for the 20 of us that'll be eating here tonight, he had to spend close to $3,500 on the food.
He spent $3,500?
And you just went and threw that all away?
I did.
What the hell do you think you're doing, Heath?
Crap, there are a lot of upset voices coming from the kitchen right now.
Well, perhaps that's because all of the food that was ready for dinner tonight is now gone and in the trash, Heath.
Crap!
Hey, Heath. Where the hell did your cowardly little ass run off to?
I can go wherever the hell I want to, right?
But there are a lot of people in the house right now who are very, very upset and want to know where the hell you're at.
No way! Do they already know that it was me who threw all the food out?
They do, because I told them it was you.
What? What the hell do you think you're doing, Rose? At a time like this, you should be trying to cover for me. How dare you easily go telling on your own husband like that?
Something like this was going to be found out whether I tried to cover it up or not.
Why do you think that?
Because the only reason something like this would have ever happened is because you were trying to pick on me again. So don't think that anyone was just going to look away from you. And besides, I'm not going to bother protecting your ass anymore anyway after how many of my nerves you've been stepping on.
Excuse me?
Anyway, just get back here instead of acting like a 5-year-old. All you're doing is wasting time for the rest of us by running around trying to avoid all of us.
You think I can go back to a place as crazy as that right now?
The only reason this place is so frickin' crazy right now is because of what you went and did. Just shut the hell up already and get your goddamn ass back here.
No, I didn't do anything wrong.
What the hell do you think you're saying at a point in time like this?
This is all your fault, you worthless, awful cook of a wife. You apologize to them all right now for your terrible cooking. Tell them that you are to blame for what happened because you've never been able to cook your own husband a decent freaking meal this whole time you've been married to him.
Rose, did Heath go over there? Nope. I made sure to look into the farthest corners of our house for him, but I couldn't find him there either. I see. Where the heck could that brat have run off to? How are things going for you all back at your place? Everyone is still very upset over what Heath went and did, and nothing's going to change that until he comes back here and takes responsibility for what he's done. And what makes things even worse is that he went and ruined his grandma's birthday by throwing out all of that food. That's a good point. And now he's just running from all of us while pushing all of the blame onto you, thinking that we'll all buy that. On top of the fact that we just had to learn how for the past couple of years now he's been torturing you by calling all of your cooking disgusting, even though you're a better cook than I am. How could a child of mine have such a rotten personality? Where did my husband and I go wrong when raising him? That's what I'd really love to know. I'm so embarrassed right now by my own son's actions. Please don't think too much about all of that, Irene. It would be one thing if Heath was still a child, but he is far too old now to be making choices like these, thinking that you should be taking responsibility for them all. That's true. Thank you for saying that. I would really love to know where that brat is hiding still. It's almost like he'd been thinking something like this would happen one day and prepared a place where he could hunker down and hide from the whole family for some time. Hey, Irene, there actually is one other place I think he might be at right now. What? And actually, I'm already arriving there now. I really do think that Heath has to be here and will be here when I go have a look. Really? Where is this place that you're talking about? This is something that I sort of felt you all would be very upset by, and so for the past few years, I never wanted to talk about it to you all. I'm sorry for not telling any of you about this, but I'm going to have to now. Rose? Do you think you can bring all of the men in the family with you when you come out here? I'll make sure to send you the address right away. Heath, I think it's time for you to get a grip and come out of there.
Did you make sure to apologize for everything you did to the rest of my family? Once I'm sure you've gone and done that, then I'll come out and go back home.
Nobody blames me for any of what happened, so even if I did apologize to them, nothing would change for you.
What?
And if you wanted to know another thing, you seem to be the only one who considers all of my cooking to be bad and disgusting.
Fine, I'm not going back there then.
So you're going to continue to run and hide from us no matter what then?
It's not like any of you guys know where I'm at right now anyway. But if you go ahead and work up the ability to apologize to my whole family for your god-awful cooking, and then say that it was your fault that all the food was thrown out, and then pay my dad back that $3,500 he spent on all of it, I might think about coming out of hiding and go back to that house. But that's only if you do all of those things for me and my family is no longer mad.
You really think that I'm going to do such an absurd thing for you?
If not, then I'm never going to leave this place.
That's totally fine, actually.
No?
I've known about where you ran off to hide long before today.
Huh?
Actually, that's the only place you could be hiding from us right now.
Wait, what is going on here?
The place you're hiding at right now is an apartment. An apartment which belongs to the 36-year-old woman named Mina, who's been working in the company cafeteria where you go eat lunch a lot of the time, right?
Why do you...
Ever since you started to really hammer it into me that I was so bad at cooking, I started to suspect that you were cheating on me.
What?
Because you just randomly starting to call your own wife's cooking, which you'd been eating normally for so long, bad like that, meant that there was something up with you. I started to think that perhaps you were comparing my cooking to someone else's cooking. And after doing a little bit of investigating, a woman named Mina came into focus for me.
All of those disses about your food ended up with you thinking that I was cheating?
Now, since I'm finished explaining myself... Oh, look, the door is
Huh? The door?
I expected something like this from someone as careless as you, though. And starting right now, with both your mother and father in the lead, and them being followed by 10 other members of your family, we're coming in.
What?
And with that, here we all come.
Wait!
Rose, I'm so very sorry for all the foolish things that happened in my family that affected you. The fact that you went ahead and not only ordered all of that food for us to have after we got back home, but also went and saved my mother-in-law's birthday for her. I'm just happy I could have been some help for you all. Thank you, Rose. And I'm so sorry. Irene, you really don't have to. Nothing that happened then was your fault, and I've already gone and divorced Heath now and got the settlement that I'd asked for from him. Everything that we had wanted to happen is over with now, so there are no hard feelings towards any of you guys. Oh, thank you for saying that. Really, you are too kind of a person, Rose. But there is just one thing that I wanted to inform you of. Sure, go ahead and tell me then. My husband and I disowned Heath from our family. He said that he had paid that settlement to you, and so everything was all right for him. But that was far from the truth, after all he'd done to the rest of his family, and so there was no letting him off the hook this time, and we are all going to forget about him now. Is that right? Well, I'm glad to hear that. Also, the parents of the woman Heath has been cheating on you with said they were also going to cut ties to her. Then that means those two really only have one another now, right? But I don't think things are going to last long. You don't think so? Not at all. Because pretty soon here his company will find out as well about what happened and will not let those two work there anymore. Oh, you think that's what will happen to them next? Well, if he ever comes back to you asking for forgiveness or anything like that, please make sure not to talk back to him and just block his number. Will do. After having talked with my lawyer a bit more, he told me not to block him just yet, in case he has anything else to say about the settlement or whatnot. So for a little while, I'll just be ghosting him. We'll start by talking about what happened after the whole entire family went and entered that apartment on Christmas Day. We made sure to block the both of them in Mina's room and waited as both of Heath's parents went and called Mina's parents asking them to come to her apartment right away. And when they arrived, we all sat down on the floor around them and had a very long discussion that ended up lasting until morning. Following that was my divorce from Heath, not even a day later. At the time, Heath started to get all giddy about how divorcing me was a good thing and that he'd now get to marry Mina and have her cook for him. And so, after he had been disowned by his family and had paid that settlement to me, he went and married Mina at the courthouse. However, a month after those two did end up getting married, it turned out that she never was the one actually cooking any of the food for him, and had just been bringing leftovers from the company cafeteria that whole time for him to eat. They ended up getting fired from that company not too long after he found out about that, and from there, those two got a divorce and never talked to one another again. It's been close to 6 months now since I've started to have to ignore all of the really rude messages that come from Heath all the time. He tells me all the time about how it's my fault for him ending up in a situation where his new wife cooked even worse than me, and he ended up losing everything. But then he'll have nights where he texts me saying that he wants me back, and that he had just lied about my food not being very good. It's kind of to the point now where he seems bipolar, because one part of him wants me back, while the other wants me to be blamed for what's happened to him, which really throws me off. But I kind of figured that's all he'd ever have to say to me still, and so I went ahead and finally blocked his number and have never talked to him again. Currently, I'm studying more about cooking so that next time, if I get married, I won't be beat by some cafeteria worker at my husband's company. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
You're being pretty sly right now, Laurel. Huh? I hear that you went and divorced Jim, right? If that's the case, then you need to hurry up and get out of his house. Who is this again? Even if you and I perhaps talked a little bit before, this is your first time ever texting with me, so you should at least tell me who you are before starting the conversation. Considering you and Jim had your divorce, an ex-wife like you has no right knowing who I am. Well, if I have no right knowing your name, then you have no right coming to me like this and saying all of these things to me. Now, if you're not going to tell me who you are, then I'm going to have no choice but to block you, and then we won't ever have to talk to one another again. I guess I have no other choice. My name is Ivy, and I happen to be Jim's girlfriend. Huh? His girlfriend? Does that mean, in other words, Jim has been cheating on me with someone else this whole entire time? What? Oh, how mean of you. Jim and the relationship he and I have had with one another is too beautiful to be labeled as such a shallow and impure thing like cheating. Really? Is that right? However, what you just told me is known to everybody else in the world as cheating, considering he had still been married to me until very recently. But I'm telling you, he was not cheating on you with me, so stop trying to make it seem like all this has ever been is an affair. Well, to be frank, I really don't care what you call it. Huh? You really don't care? Since I have nothing to do with either one of you and never really did, how you go about calling the relationship you both had with one another while he was married to me doesn't matter. I don't care what you call it. Really, all I've noticed so far by this conversation is that it's a complete and total waste of my time right now, and that you are just annoying me is all. What the hell was that? If you don't give a crap about this conversation or about Jim and I, then get the hell out of his house. Starting today, this place is Jim's and mine to live and love one another in. This place? Where exactly is this place you're speaking of? I'm right in front of the house that you're supposed to be living in right now, but instead have been squatting inside of like a sly little rat. What? You really are. I just took a look out front and I saw a trespassing girl with a bag in her hand standing right in front of our door. Who the hell are you calling a trespassing girl? If you're going to start calling me that, then that means you've gone and broken and entered into my house and should be kicked out. But this is my own house I'm sitting in. No, it's not. That house is for Jim and I. That is supposed to be the house that Jim and I can start making love to one another in while we start our very own family. So hurry the hell up and get out. All of your crap inside that house is worthless to us, so make sure you take it all with you. There'd better not be a single piece of trash in there when I move in. Now, you work on getting out of that house, okay? All right then. Understood. But currently, Jim is not here. What? Why isn't he home today? We only just got divorced from one another yesterday, but he had already had things planned out for today, so he left. And I believe when it comes to him moving into his new place and all of that, he's going to be doing that this weekend. What the hell? So that's what's going on here? Well, if he's not home today, then I don't really have to bother with you now. I'll be going back to my place this time. However, I'll only allow you to be in my house until this weekend, and then after that, you need to be out of there before I'm back and ready to move in all of my things. Jim, do you have a moment to talk?
Oh, it's you, Laurel. I thought we spoke about how we wouldn't really be talking to one another anymore, unless there was an emergency or something. Did something happen to the house or my things since I left?
There was a woman at the house today claiming to be your girlfriend, Jim.
Huh? What do you mean by that? I get that you and I just had a divorce and everything, but that doesn't mean I've already made myself a girlfriend.
I get that, okay? I don't think someone as stupid and stubborn as you could ever be able to keep a girlfriend like her a secret from me while we were married, nor make her your girlfriend that quickly after leaving me. So relax.
Ah, right. As long as you understand that I didn't know her, we're good. Thanks. Do you mind telling me everything you know about that woman, in case I know her from somewhere?
Well, she had semi-long hair, and her name is Ivy. At least, that's what she called herself.
Ivy?
Do you know who she is, then?
As long as it isn't someone else with the same name as the girl I remember. That Ivy is a classmate I had from elementary school all the way until the end of high school. Most of the time, I really only knew her to be this basic girl, but in high school I found out that she was actually the daughter of this really wealthy CEO. She would always go around saying that all the men at school loved her and that she was the best woman ever. I'm not sure why, but she has a lot of confidence in herself. I know this may sound mean, but she was the most annoying person I can remember from school. Ever since we graduated from high school, the only other time we ran into one another was at a class reunion that was held during my college years.
Someone as shallow and annoying as her is back looking for you now?
if I were to think about what might have brought her all the way out to me, it might have to do with the fact that our moms were good friends back in the day, so we would see one another a lot. As far as I'm aware, both of our moms are still actually friends with one another and tend to hang out a lot. To me, all Ivy ever was a really annoying classmate, and there was never anything back then that we did together. However, I do remember hearing from my mom back in elementary school that Ivy had this dream about marrying people from class, and she ended up marrying me of all people. I mean, this has to be so far-fetched, but do you think she might be back around me now because of that dream?
Considering the type of woman I was having to talk with today over text, that sounds like the kind of thing that's happening with her. Actually, there is something that your mom said to me back when we had first gotten married. It was something along the lines of her saying that there was a girl who she viewed as her daughter that she really believed you'd be getting married to. And she said that to me in a very hateful and upset kind of tone at the time.
Wait, something like that was said to you by her?
Based on what you've said to me, I can tell now who your mom had been talking about back then.
I'm so sorry about what my mom had said to you.
Don't bother apologizing for that now. It happened years and years ago.
I know, but...
Right now, though, I really don't want to be getting wrapped up in whatever kind of situation that Ivy woman wants to have with you. So could you please do something about her, and perhaps your mom as well, if she has anything to do with this?
I can. Don't worry. It's crazy that someone as annoying as her would be coming back into my life at a time like now, but I'll figure out some way to get her out of here. When I have some good news for you regarding her, I'll make sure to send you a text with the info.
Please and thank you.
But there is one small problem here. I never once gave Ivy my phone number in the past, and I've even changed it a few times since the last time I ran into her.
Wait, is that so?
I'm gonna assume that it was my mom who went and gave my current number to her.
That would mean it was your mom who went and told her about who I am and what happened between you and I.
When it comes to my mom, you're more than welcome to block her number as well as anyone else in my family's number. I'll make sure to handle all of this for you now.
I'll go ahead and block them all right now. Good luck with the cleanup, Jim. Jim! It's been such a long time since I last saw you. Oh, this is your newly found fiancé, Ivy.
What? Then does that mean you went and got my number and everything from my mom?
That's right. Wouldn't it be strange for your fiancé to not even have your number or know much about your current situation? So I went and had her tell me everything.
Wait, you hold on a second there. The last time you and I ever met one another was years and years ago at that class reunion when we were still in college, right? And after that, even if we saw one another, we never said a word to each other and just carried on with our lives. I get that our moms may still be very good friends with one another to this day, but that doesn't mean you and I have ever had anything with one another. So what the heck do you think you're doing, calling yourself my fiancé now?
Come on, I can tell that you're getting all nervous and are blushing right now.
What?
I know already, Jim. I know about how you went to that really good college for me and that you aim to find a job within a really large and famous company with a heavy salary to prepare for your future with me. And you have been working so hard at that company now, climbing up the company ladder, all for me. But while you've been going through all that hard work doing your best for me, I've been with other men and even married one of them. That really broke your heart to see and was terrible for you. So you went and married a woman of your own, that Laurel bitch. And this whole time since you've married her, you've been regretting it all, right? But then you found out about how I went and had that divorce with my husband. And that's why you went and divorced Laurel as quickly as you could, so that you'd be ready for me to move in and marry you, right?
What?
Right? I'm totally right about all of this, aren't I? Well, this was all told to me by your mom, of all people. You should have been with your mom at the time she told me all of that, because I was moved so dramatically and knew I had to come to you.
This is the first time I'm hearing about you having gotten married and having gotten divorced.
No way. You're going to joke around with me like that again, Jim? It's totally fine for you to just open up to me now and show me all the feelings you've had all along, okay? I'm telling you, I don't care that you ended up marrying another woman like that when you were getting so jealous of all the men I was with, and I forgive you for it. Now, this weekend, I'll be coming over to your house again to start moving in with you. Around that time, Laurel should be moving out of the house for good, so you and I can head to the courthouse right after I've dropped off all my stuff and get married to each other. This is going to be the start of our happy life together as husband and wife, all right?
That was freaking awful, Laurel.
What happened?
About Ivy, man. She just started to text me out of nowhere, you know?
Ah, so that really does mean that your mom went and told her your number, right?
She told me that herself when I had asked.
So can you go into detail about what all was so awful about her? Besides the things I very much know now.
Having to explain all of it to you is going to be a bit difficult for me because it's so far out there in terms of madness. You know what? I'm going to just send you screenshots of everything, all right? I think that would be easier on me and would be better for you to fully understand everything.
Sounds good. Man, this is all so hard for me to read through right now because of how cringy it all is.
Now that I've gone ahead and seen it all, I think this was the best time for it. Had she come over a day earlier or whatever, I would have had to see her in person, and I don't even want to know what the hell that could be like.
Very true.
As for you, Laurel, things have all come to this now, and I would hate for you to have to deal with that chick any more than you've already had to, so how about you work on those plans you'd made up before and take care of your business right now? I've already finished all of my prep and I'm ready to get going.
Good point. I guess it's about time I wrap all of what I had planned out up. Thanks for mentioning that, as well as showing me these screenshots. I'm going to call my company, and depending on what they say, I'll try to get things moving along by Friday. Hey, what the hell is all of this? Laurel, this is nothing at all like the promise you had made to me before. What? Did you and I ever make a promise with one another before today? About this house, we sure did. We made the promise that you would be out of this house by the weekend, right? Well, right now it's the start of that weekend we talked about before, and yet that promise you made to me wasn't upheld. If that's what you're referring to right now, I made sure to leave the house on Friday. I don't care about when you left the house, you idiot. Then why are your panties in such a twist? Things like all the furniture that was in here and all of the appliances that were in here. There is nothing left anymore as all of those things have disappeared. There is literally nothing left in this house for me anymore. I never told you that you could take things like the furniture and the appliances that were supposed to be mine with you. Could you hold on for just a second there, please? If you're able to tell me all of those things about the inside of the house right now, does that mean you're actually inside the place? Well, of course I'm in the house. Starting today, the place is mine, according to that promise. And how exactly were you able to open any of the doors without a key? I got a spare key from Jim's mom, for crying out loud. We told that woman to give back all of those keys she went and had made without ever asking for permission to. Yet she still had some left over, huh? Huh? Listen, you'd better start explaining things to me right now so that I can understand what's going on here. All right. Starting with the conclusion to everything regarding the house, it belongs to a realty company now and is no longer mine. Huh? Maybe it's because I asked them to take it off my hands earlier than I had first planned on selling them the place by. They weren't able to change any of the locks yet. I'll have to give them a call about that. As for most of the older furniture and appliances that I had, I rented a dumpster and had them all tossed and taken to the dump. And anything that was in better shape and had some value to it still, I made sure to sell to the pawn shop down the road. Why would you do all of that? Well, I never planned on going back to that house once I was already out, and since the place I've moved into already has furniture and everything for me, there was no real reason to keep any of it. You get what I'm saying? What do you think you're doing, selling and tossing out all my things without my permission, though? Are you some kind of a mentally disabled criminal or something? How dare you go out selling someone else's things like that and then tossing all the rest when they weren't even yours? The name on that house before I sold it was always mine and never anybody else's, okay? Huh? And actually, before I had taken it over, it was my mom's house. And before her, it belonged to my grandparents. But after a lot of things ended up happening in the family, the house was eventually given to me and my name was put on it. That happened at about the same time I got married to Jim, and so we went and spiffed the place up a bit and then made it our first home together. What? Is what you just said there really true? It sure is. Very much the truth, actually. And if I really wasn't the owner of that house the whole time, then how would I have been able to sell it so easily? Hold on a second. If that's the case and this house is no longer ours, then where are Jim and I supposed to go and live? You're asking me that question? Oh, by the way, could you cut all of that talk about you and Jim being a thing out now? He's not your fiancé, and he never said that he wanted to marry you either. Huh? What's wrong with me calling myself his fiancé when I am literally his fiancé? Well, the problem with that is Jim and I are planning to get remarried soon and can't have you running around saying you're his fiancé. You guys are going to get remarried to one another? Right now is a better time than any to tell you about this story, so I'm going to do that right now. The divorce we both had is only meant to last a little bit. Huh? Your divorce is only meant to last a little bit? What does that mean? Wait. Tell me what the hell that actually means. Since you and I have never actually met one another in person before, you're probably unaware of the kind of body that I have. In other words, the state of health that I'm in right now. But due to Jim's mom always harassing me, she ended up causing me to get really injured after pushing me down a flight of stairs on purpose. What? Most of the injuries are healed now, but a lot of the worse ones that ended up happening deeper inside of me are still healing, and that means it's a rough time for me still. And a week after having been assaulted, basically, by her, I wanted to get a settlement and call the police on her with the help of Jim, but she wouldn't have that and all and threw so many fits. Jim and I really talked about things after we couldn't get past his mom, and eventually he told me he didn't even want to be a part of her family anymore. And so he and I got a divorce in the hopes that by getting remarried to one another, he can take my family's name and relinquish his mom's. In other words, he's going to have your last name? One night only. See, this is us taking too many steps to not really achieve anything more than we already had. But to my parents, they would like to view him as their son, and considering we all want him to escape from his toxic mom and never have to be reminded of her, we all agreed that we'd let him have my family's name. There were, of course, other ways to change his last name without the divorce and all of that, but it would have taken longer for that to happen, and so divorce and then remarrying sounded like the best option. So we made sure to tell the courthouse and the clerk about what was going to happen and that we'd get divorced, fill out a bunch of new paperwork with his last name being made mine, and then we'd get remarried. Then you both getting that divorce was all for... That's right. It was giving him the chance to take himself out of his mom's family and place himself into mine instead. We plan to have this marriage completed when things have calmed down and we're all moved in. Are you kidding me? The only thing that happened during all of this that we weren't expecting was Jim's mom saying that we had gotten divorced because he was in love with her longtime friend's daughter and that you were to marry him next. Basically, she made up a bunch of lies about Jim and I, all so that you'd think you were his fiancé and so that she could have you as a daughter-in-law instead of me. By the way, Jim told his mom just this morning that he was cutting ties to her and that he'd never be talking to her again. Hold on a second. That man you're planning to get remarried to soon? Do you mind letting me have him instead? Excuse me? To make this all short for you, you being able to cut ties with his mom and everything is the best thing for you, right? And since you're already moved into a new place and no longer have to come back to this house, you're off her grid now. So there shouldn't be any issues with him becoming my husband now, right? And by the way, if he were to make me his wife, then he wouldn't have to cut ties with his mom and everyone could be happy again. Look at that. I am definitely the one that should be getting married to him next, since I'm best for his family. All right, that's the plan we're all going to be going with. Where's Jim at right now? If you tell me where he's been staying, I'll go out and get him right away. Did I not just tell you a second ago that this morning he had gone to his mom to tell her that he'd be cutting ties to her and would never speak to her again? What? And right now he's not even in the US anymore. Huh? He and I left today to live overseas for a while. You guys went overseas? After the both of us went and spoke to our respective higher-ups, Jim said a location overseas was in need of some support and could use his help. And mine said that I could work remotely from anywhere that had internet if I really wanted to, so we'll both be fine. Actually, I meant to say that Jim left before me and has been at our new place for a bit now, and I'm still on my way. Well, I'm going to go there right now. You are? You being the only one who gets to go overseas and live a relaxing life as his housewife isn't fair. I'm a better fit for a life like that, and I am going to take it. I did just say that I'm going to be working remotely over there, didn't I? Huh? And it was actually me who had the idea for him to quit his job and let me do all of the work for the two of us, but he shot that idea down. What? But that means you can leave your job, right? Not with the salary reduction he's received for doing this. Huh? If I stopped working my job, we wouldn't be able to sustain ourselves out here. So I have to keep working regardless of whatever he does. What? Now, it's getting time for us to wrap all this up, right? Wait a sec. When I got divorced from my last husband, I accidentally also cut ties to all of my family, and because of that, I was left with nowhere to call home. The idea was that if I could be married to Jim, I would have myself a new husband and a new place to call my home. And the other plan was to ask for Jim to pay for the settlement I still owe my ex-husband after the divorce. Could you stop talking to me about your life already? But, I am on my plane right now and I am ready to leave, which means I'm putting my phone into airplane mode pretty soon here. And considering I'll be going to a completely different country now, I won't be able to use the SIM card I have anymore. Wait a sec! Goodbye. I don't have a house or any money though, Laurel! I only learned this a few days ago, but the reason that Ivy even had to get divorced by her ex in the first place was because she had an affair with another man. She had to break up with that man as well, and that left her with no place to go and sleep. However, when she came across my mother-in-law at the time, she told her that she'd give me a reason to leave her son, and that Ivy could marry him after I was gone. And, well, after having pushed me down those stairs and heard about the divorce Jim and I got not too long after I was kind of healed up, she told Ivy to make her move. What happened after Ivy found out that Jim was far from her reach and I was going to be marrying him, she turned her attention back at Jim's mom in anger. She made an attack on the apartment building that Jim's mom is living in, and there they met and started having this massive brawl in the hallway. But this happened at the end of the hallway, closest to the emergency exit, and when one of them pushed the other through the door, they both stumbled down 5 flights of stairs, breaking all sorts of bones. They're both in the hospital now after having sustained even more serious injuries than I had, and are under investigation by the police now as well. They both don't really have any other family around them willing to help them out with their recovery and finances, and are pretty much done for in terms of their remaining life. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.